Yes, people. It's your boy Shazad back again on the finished article with all things Fergie time. And yes, people, I've got a big smile on my face. You're probably wondering why. Well, Man United won 5-1, that's why. But let me get my boy Shazad on and let's get this cracking. Yes, Shaz, how's it going, bro? Start of the week. We all good?
Yeah, you can tell Shaz is tired because he's called it Fergie time when it's all things football. But hey,
There you go, bro. I'm tired, bro. It's nearly 11 o'clock. My man's tired. Yeah, all things football. It even says it at the bottom, right below us, right below us, just there. It actually says all things football, and I can't read properly.
well, what can I say, bro? You've been hanging around so too much. It's all the Arsenal vibes.
Oh,
Moving up on you, bro. Man's losing it on the pitch. He's losing it on the podcast. What can you say?
Yes, people. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Whether you're watching live, whether you're watching on the replay, thank you very much for tuning in. Always much appreciated. Leave some love, leave some like, comments, and subscribe to the channel. We're on the race to 200. We've hit the 100. We're just over the 100 mark. So thank you everyone who did subscribe in the early stages. We did do the prize draw. It was announced. So go back and check that video if you haven't already. You'll see who won. We are in touch with the winner, but they've not replied. So we may have to revisit doing the prize draw. But we'll let people know. We'll keep you posted. We'll keep you updated on that. As you can see, just over here is my Twitter, and Shaz is over there on his. And right now, across the bottom, you've got the official Facebook and Twitter of the finished article. So jump on that. Follow us on social media. Follow us on YouTube. Heck, follow us on Twitch as well. We've got the channel going over on Twitch. Yeah, man. Before we do move on, there is one little piece of information. I'm trying to find it. We do have the official finished article Fantasy Football League over at the Premier League website, on the official website. Invitation code is below, and there will be prizes for winners. So get yourself in. You've only missed game week 1. So, if you're good enough, you can still get in. You can still, get some prizes. But we're going to start off this show with the review of game week 1. So we're going to be reviewing all the games of the week. If you haven't already checked it out, we have done an analysis, post-match analysis on Man United's win over Leeds over at Fergie Time, which is on this channel. So go check that video out if you haven't checked it. But I'm going to let my boy Shazad talk because I've been told I talk too much. So I'm going to let my boy talk.
Well, it's not that Shaz talks too much. The problem is when you like the match with him, he never pipes down. So you know what? I'm gonna start the match today, just to get my word in. But you know what? There's no better place to start the Premier League season than at Brentford, and Arsenal are the club that love giving. And on Friday night, they gave Brentford the present of a lifetime with an amazing 2-0 win. Don't know how, but if your boy Saul's watching, big up to your boy Arteta. Arsenal are back doing major things. We're Arsenal in the league. Yes. End of game week 1, Friday night, they were back at the top of the bottom of the league. So I don't know how that feels for Arsenal fans, but hey.
I mean, I don't know how that feels, man. It is harsh on the Arsenal fans. No, and I know we were talking about it earlier, man.
Let me put it in perspective. Okay, let's rewind things back. Arsenal are not or should not be in this position. They are a good enough team, but for some reason they seem to have this issue whereby their players don't have confidence to go out and deliver. Brentford have just come up, so Arsenal should be dominating Brentford from start to finish, but for some reason it turned out to be the other way around, and Brentford got a boost from having the crowds back. So big up to the crowds that returned.
Big up to the crowds, man. Definitely.
And absolutely. Goals from Canos in the 22nd minute and Nergard in 73rd minute won it for Brentford. And Arsenal, for me, I think let's just hope it's early season jitters because Lacazette and Aubameyang were out. For me, Aubameyang is disappointing because I don't know why he's out. Maybe he's just a Lasok like Nicolas Sanoka. We'll remember him from back in the day, but go for it.
Yes. I mean, what can you say about Arsenal, man? It's just one of those, man. This result shocked me. It was the first game of the new season. Arsenal were kicking off, the campaign for, and the Premier League against Brentford. Brentford had just come up from the Championship, and you wouldn't expect Brentford to do what they did. They went out there, they gave Arsenal a game of their life, and Brentford absolutely deserved them 3 points. Arsenal played, well, I mean, they played shockingly. I mean, they just lost to Brentford, let's be honest, bro.
Perfectly good example is Dion Dublin, who basically said that Arsenal lacked any leadership on the pitch.
Yeah.
And that's the main problem with Arsenal. So I know that we have banter, but seriously, they need a leader that can drive their team forward. And I think that's Aubameyang or either Lacazette or maybe someone.
Not even them, bro. Not even them. I mean, when they play, it's similar, but obviously they may have not lost to Brentford. But what they need, what Arsenal need, is a player like Patrick Vieira. They need that type of player in their squad to lead. They need a Harry Maguire or a Rafael Varane or a Bruno Fernandes type of player. And I'm not saying them names just because they're United players. Those guys on the pitch are leaders. Look what Harry Maguire did for the England squad. He helped them. He led them forward. Rafael Varane does that. He did that at Real Madrid. He does it for France. He's going to do it at United. And Fernandes, he's a workhorse. Even if United are losing, he is still trying to score goals. He's still trying to win that game. He's still trying to make them magic moments happen.
Yep.
And that's what you need, bro. And speaking of United, we're going to jump on to that next result. We're going to jump on to the United versus Leeds game. What can I say, man? 5-1 at Old Trafford. What a way to start the campaign off at Old Trafford. I would have, like I said in the Fergie time video, bro, I would have liked to see Sancho play more. I would have liked to see Van der Beek on the pitch. Do you know what I mean? But United won. 3 points is 3 points, bro. You know what I mean?
I think we covered this on the Fergie time, but just to wrap it up on this show, that clinical performance, as always, great to see United start so well. Makes a change from previous seasons. But as always, need to get Sancho on the pitch playing, need to get Van der Beek, because these boys need to step up and show what they can do. And as always, we mentioned about Martial, so this is a chance for him to prove this season what he's all about, since Cavani's not back yet. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes.
Another point that I wanted to talk about. Go on, bro. Sorry, I thought you were finished there, bro. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, for those that haven't seen our Fergie time video, definitely go check it out for the full in-depth analysis of that 4-1. Yeah.
5-1, bro.
Yeah, 5-1. Apologies.
Come on, bro. You're taking a goal away from United, bro. I mean, the point that I wanted to make about this game is Martial had time on the pitch. And you have to understand, he's just come back from a long-term injury, which kept him out for quite a lot of last season. And he's not even back at 100%. He needs game time. He needs to get match sharpness again. He needs to get match fitness again. And I think once he hits that, he's going to be flying, bro. Like I said before, I think he's one of them type of players, is a 15, 20 plus goals a season type of player, bro.
Easily, yeah.
And this season, if he hits form, he's going to prove that. He's going to prove 15 to 20 goals minimum for this guy. If he doesn't, I'll be upset myself, bro. And at that point, I will say, yes, we need to get rid of Martial, bro. But speaking of this game itself, obviously, we need to speak about United. We need to speak about Pogba, and we need to speak about Fernandes. But before I do, bro, we've got a comment from our man Rayan. And before we go in, I want to big up this guy, man. He's always on. He's always tuning in. He's always watching. Big up to Rayan. He's got his own show over on Sarcasm City. What's it called? Analysis at Anfield. That's the one. Analysis at Anfield. Go check it out if you've not checked it out. I don't know why he's saying this.
Actually, you know what?
Martial.
Can I say something? I want to say a big shout out to Ryan for inspiring Bruno Fernandes. Apparently, he's overrated. So overrated. He managed
That's exactly what I was about to say, bro. You beat me to it.
Massive.
Bruno Fernandes just proved why he's a class player. Hat trick, and then Pogba with his 4 assists. you know what I mean? I'm not even going to say much more on it. We've already spoke about United over on the Fergie Time video. We'll jump on to the next video, the next game, which was Burnley versus Brighton at Turf Moor. Burnley losing their opening game at home. I mean, what can you say, man? I would have expected Burnley to win this game, to be fair. So it is a bit of a shock that Burnley lost. What are your thoughts on that one, Chaz? Because I was quite shocked to see that result, to be fair.
Yeah, I thought Burnley normally are a good team at home. They tend to shut up shop. They scored after 2 minutes. I mean, pretty much a magic start. But then, as the saying goes in football, if you don't take your chances or if you don't close the game down, they will inevitably lose it. And I think the main edge for them was their performance in the second half, where you had Maupay and McAllister score in the late on, and just an overall sort of good result for Brighton.
Yeah, no, definitely, man, definitely. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't watch the highlights of that game. I only just obviously checked the score. I didn't watch the highlights, so I don't really know what happened. All I can say is I would have expected Burnley to beat Brighton at home, especially if it was away. I wouldn't have been as shocked on that result.
The funny thing is, speaking on Burnley, they had a chance just before halftime, or close to the second half, to go 2-0 up, but Johan Goodmanson hit the post, and really, obviously, I think that was the catalyst for Brighton to turn around and get back into the game.
No, definitely, man, definitely. I get where you're coming from, man. Yeah, man. I mean, there's a lot of other games that we haven't covered yet, so we'll try and get through these as quickly as we can, people. I'm going to move on to this game next. Leicester City 1, Wolves 0. Do you know what I mean? This is a result that I would have expected more goals in this game from these two teams. Now, the one point I want to bring up on this is Jamie Vardy's celebrations. He's such a dick when he scores. I'm sorry to use that type of language. He's such a little muppet when he scores. He ran over to the Wolves fans and started howling like a wolf. And he's done stupid things like this before against other teams. He just does it on purpose to take the mick. Like, I've just scored against you. Do you know what I mean? I don't even know how to. It's funny to me. I buzz off it, man. I think it's funny.
It's funny because his team's name is the Foxes, so it doesn't surprise me there. Yeah. I mean, Leicester for me are a good side. They're proven in the top 6, I would say, and it'd be interesting to see how they get on this season. I think it was, like you said, a bit of a lackluster performance. Wolves for me didn't really do that much. And obviously, Jamie Vardy does what he does best, score the goals. So you can't really.
Definitely. I mean, the one thing I wanted to mention on this is that the Wolves managers obviously left, and they've got a new manager, and I think that's an effect on the players as well as the fans. He was a brilliant manager at Wolves, and I think he should have stayed. But obviously, he's moved on to Tottenham. And it's just one of them. I think that's hit Wolves hard, that their manager, who's helped them so much and done wonders with the team, has left, and that can have an effect on the players and performances, and that showed in this match, because you'd expect Wolves to give any team a game, bro. You'd expect Wolves to give any team, especially Leicester, a game, and they didn't. I mean, there was a 1-0 win, and do you know what I mean? It's just one of them.
Yeah, I mean, for Wolves, I think they can only get better as the season goes on, so they can't get much worse than that. But it'll be interesting to see how their season goes.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. Same goes for Arsenal, man. You know, the season can only get better after getting beat 2-0 off Brentford on the opening day of the season. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I'll move on to the next. Chelsea versus Crystal Palace, 3-0 Chelsea. Alonso, Pulisic, and Chalobah scoring. I mean, what more do you expect? Chelsea winning? I wouldn't have expected Crystal Palace to do much in this game. I would have expected Chelsea to win.
Chelsea did what? Or let me rephrase that. Chelsea showed Aston what they need to do against teams like that. They need to be clinical.
Oh man, these digs at Arsenal are funny, man. Sol hates you right now, bro.
I'm doing it for Sol, bro. I'm doing it for you, bro. I'm gonna inspire your team to come back somehow. We'll figure that out later.
We'll figure that out later, innit, bro? Not sure how they're going to manage that, but we'll see.
Were clinical. I think Thomas Tuchel in his first full season. Be interesting to see how he gets on. He's just signed or re-signed Lukaku for 93 million. Wow.
Madness, bro. Lukaku's done a full circle, man. We spoke about that before.
Done a full circle. But yeah, Chelsea were clinical in this game. Crystal Palace didn't really do much. This is first game for Patrick Vieira as Crystal Palace manager.
Yes, it is.
And he said the team needs to move on and just learn from this defeat. But as always, this is again another ex-Premier League legend coming in to manage the team. And it'll be interesting to see how his season goes on. I think it'll depend a lot. Will depend on his management style. But yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I mean, it'll be good to see how Patrick Vieira does as a manager. I mean, it's always good to see ex-footballers come back as managers, as long as they know how to do it. I mean, there's certain people that have come back into management and they've not had a good time at certain clubs, like Gary Neville, for instance, at Villarreal. He flopped.
Valencia,
Valencia, not Villarreal. And then you've got current manager at Arsenal. He's not having a good time. Do you know what I mean? But he did win the FA Cup with Arsenal in his first season, so you can't really fault him. And I think that's one of the only reasons he is still there. So another result that I wasn't expecting, bro. Watford beating Aston Villa 3-2. I wouldn't have expected that. I would have expected Aston Villa to win. But the reason this happened is because Jack Grealish is no longer in the Aston Villa team. He's over at Man City doing crap over there and losing to Tottenham. But we'll get on to that result later. I think Watford did well for this, bro. I didn't think Watford did well here, man.
No, they did well, and I think this is another case of another Premier League team coming up and getting that boost of confidence. I think Watford literally dominated Villa off the park. Didn't even Villa might have got back into it, but that was more a case of Watford running and getting tired towards the end of the game. I mean, Villa's defending for a couple of the goals was pretty poor, I'd have to say. And they need Ollie Watkins back because I mean Watkins wasn't playing because he was injured. Danny Ings, their new signing, did score, but a little too late.
Definitely, man, definitely. Sorry to interrupt you, bro. We have got some comments from one of the viewers. I'm going to bring them up one after the other. Thank you for Stu MC for tuning in and listening. These are some shots at Arsenal first. So Shaz is going to absolutely buzz off these. Arsenal buying White for 50 million. Did they even scout him? He was always a decent footballer, but his defending on crosses and especially in the air were woeful, even at Leeds. Bielsa made him look half decent.
Yeah.
I can't agree with them more. I'm sorry, Sol, but this guy's got you.
I'm going to say that's right. I watched White's defending for the first goal. It's literally like he missed the ball coming into the box, and Bielsa did make him look better. And this is where Arteta needs to realize that he's actually overpaid for an English defender, and that's just another question mark. I mean, what about that? And then
there's another comment here, bro. It's just come through. This one's about Jack Grealish.
Yeah,
Grealish is just another Lallana. Shines as a luxury player in a lesser team. He isn't cut out for the big time. Jogs around like he is something. I couldn't agree more with this guy, to be honest, on this one. I said this before. That Jack Grealish is a good player. He was a good player in a bad team.
Yeah.
And moving to a bigger team, that he's been exposed as that player that can't hack it in a big team. So I agree with that comment.
Yeah, Man City didn't need him, and this is the problem now because Grealish basically is going to struggle to dominate because he's not going to be the main man. They've got 5.
The thing is, Grealish is going to have one season at Man City, which is this season. Next season, he'll flop again. Halfway through the season, so January 2023 window, he'll either be sold or he'll be loaned out. So here's another one. Grealish is actually lagging behind Oyarzabal for the last 2 seasons in both goals and assists. I actually didn't know that, but do you know what I mean? It's just mad that City paid 100 million for Jack Grealish, and in his first game he was exposed as a bad player.
We'll have to
do you know
see
what I
how
mean, Shaz?
but yeah, no, I agree with that. Thank you very much, Stu, for your comments.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate those comments. I agree with all of them, to be fair. I've agreed with every single one of them. So me and this guy are getting on already. But yeah, the Watford Aston Villa game, like I said, bro, I was shocked on that result. I would have expected Aston Villa to win, but do you know what I mean? No, I really want to bring this comment up. Stu's just left another one. I want to bring this one up, Shaz. His attitude is actually woeful, to be fair. He's basically a Poundland Griezmann with a Harrods price tag. Ouch! That's sick, bro. That end comment there, he's basically a Poundland Griezmann with a Harrods price tag. I absolutely love that. That's just mad. That's fire, bro.
Yeah, but he's got a point there because their attitudes are pretty poor. If they're not
Grealish's attitude is shocking, man.
Yeah.
Even in the England squad, he thought he was the man. Even though he hardly played, he thought he was the man. And do you know why? Because the England fans hyped him up so much before the Euros that he got a big head and he had a big ego, and he's still got it now because people think the English fans think he's like he can't do anything wrong. They think he's like the next David Beckham or something, but he's nowhere near that type of talent that people think he is.
That's an interesting point. It'll be interesting to see how he gets on. But yeah, moving on, post Jack Grealish era. One result I want to talk about
go for it, bro.
is Norwich Liverpool. So Norwich City Liverpool, it seems to be a favourite for them because Mo Salah loves scoring against them. Back on the score sheet with a goal and 2 assists. Jota and Firmino with the other goals, and Norwich for me, proving that Championship clubs don't all do well in the Premier League with small budgets, and they're going to struggle this season. Liverpool, as always, they're unbeaten in the last 15 games against Norwich, and it's interesting to see how their season will go.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Liverpool did what they were expected here against Norwich. They beat them comfortably. They did well. Jota, Firmino, and Salah scored. You know what? Salah's back on the score sheet. We'll see how Liverpool season pans out because I've got a feeling that Liverpool aren't going to be like contending for the title this season. I've got a feeling that's just my personal opinion on that.
Have a look at this comment. This one.
Yeah, no, I was just reading that. Pep had lost. I thought Pep had lost the plot signing Grealish, and as far as Kane, that's more of the same. 100%. I don't rate Grealish, and I don't rate Kane. We had this conversation on the last episode, I think last week, when Rayan was commenting that I don't rate Kane. I don't think he's not cut out for a team like Man City. At Tottenham, he does well. He scores goals because that's his job there. But in a bigger team, he's not going to be able to hack it under the pressure. That's I would say he wouldn't prove me wrong.
Well, no,
he wouldn't.
The thing is, Grealish 100 million, I think, is a waste of money because there's no way they needed him. So 100%. I don't understand why they've gone out and bought him. Quality.
I'm bringing that one back up. Oh dear, this next comment, bro. Have you read this one? Here we go. He backs into defenders and endangers their necks. He has claimed goals that weren't his. Poor press gets passed around by decent defenders till tires.
Yeah,
you're right. I mean, decent defenders just pass the ball around him, then get him tired, and then he can't do nothing. Or number 4, he goes AWOL.
He does. Yeah.
Now, how is he a saint? Exactly. Now, before we move on, bro, I want to talk about this. I was going to wait till another episode to talk about this because this was the review, but I want to talk about this a little bit, bro, because Mika Richards mentioned this on. You know where I'm going with this. That Harry Kane has, he's not turned up to training, which is what he's paid to do by the club, and people are saying he's right. He's okay. He's right in trying to force a move to Man City, right? But on the other side, you've got Pogba, right, at Man United. He hasn't said he wants to leave. He hasn't said he wants to be transferred away. These are just rumours. And now people are abusing him because of what his agent's saying. The difference is, the race. One's a black player and one's a white player. And they're treated differently in football, bro. And I know racism isn't a comfortable subject, bro, but it needs to be talked about because it's not on. It needs to be kicked out of football in every aspect.
Yeah, I'd agree.
And Stewie agrees as well there. That's all my shots, guys. Sorry, Mika was quite right. I mean, if you've got any other comments, mate, just leave them through. We will get to them as we go through, the other fixtures. The other fixture I wanted to speak about is Everton and Southampton, bro. I wasn't expecting this result. I wasn't expecting Everton to beat Southampton. I was probably expecting a draw or maybe Southampton to scrape a win, but Everton took it away with a 3-1 win here. So, Everton fans must be happy with that. I know a couple of Everton fans, but I mean, they must be happy with that result.
Why wouldn't they be? It's their manager's first win in charge of them, Benitez.
Mm-hmm.
And it at least puts him on a good standing with their fans, because their fans absolutely hate the fact that he used to manage Liverpool. Yes. I mean, Liverpool for me, not Liverpool, sorry, Everton.
Wow, I can't believe you just got them two clubs mixed up. Wow.
Yeah, stranger things have happened, but they actually struggle in the game. But then Richarlison was put up front, and that paid off immediately for them, because they got the goals and assists, and not just an all-round performance from Everton, as you mentioned. Wasn't really expecting them to do well, but they pulled it out of the bag. And a big shout out to Adam Armstrong, who got his first goal since moving from Blackburn. He's been a good signing for them. Don't know how he'll do this season, but it just depends on the quality of service he gets.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's always good for a striker to open up their account with a new club, straight away. It gets rid of the pressure off him. So I think it's good that he scored his first goal for the team. Yeah, he lost. The team lost, but he scored that goal. That's going to give him confidence going forward to keep doing it. So that's a good start for him. I just want to bring up the last comment from Stu. Guys, I'm white Scottish, so I can see clean through the Anglophile lens. It's horrid. You're right, bro. It is, man. It's horrid to see some of the things that happen in football. Not just football, bro. Around the world. I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail on them because we'd be here for another hour talking about things that aren't even related to football. The Everton result, bang on for Everton. I think, kicking off your campaign as a new manager as well, with a win does you good. Next result, bro. I wasn't expecting this result either. Newcastle versus West Ham. I was not expecting West Ham to win.
Newcastle actually started the game well. They scored early on, and I thought they'd do well, because at the end of the first half they ended up 2-1 up. But for some reason in the second half they just disappeared. It's like the buzz evaporated. I mean, you got Callum Wilson got the first goal after 5 minutes, and Murphy after 40. In between that, Cresswell got a goal back for them, and Ben Rama with a screamer before Chick and Antonio Fonin finished them off.
Yep. I mean, I wasn't really expecting this type of scoreline. I would have thought maybe 2-1. I wasn't expecting so many goals in this game, but
no.
Do you know what I mean? West Ham are still firing on all cylinders, even after Jesse Lingard's left. I think he sparked something in them. Do you know what I mean? After he's left, he's done. They're still doing well, which is good to see. I mean, hopefully, you know what I mean. Yeah, I thought, to be fair, Newcastle would have won this game.
Yeah, I did think
it is what it is, isn't it, bro?
It's defensively, Newcastle were a bit shown up in the second half, and Steve Bruce obviously has a limited budget to work with, but we'll have to see how they do during the rest of the season.
Yeah, no, definitely, man, definitely. We've only got one more result to speak about, bro. One more result. You know which one it is. Tottenham versus Man City.
I'm not surprised by this. I got to say this right now.
Tottenham are exposed. Tottenham exposed City.
No, you know
Even
what?
without Harry Kane.
Literally last season they did the same as well. So this is almost like Tottenham winning the Premier League. Man City.
First game of the season, beating Man City is like winning the Premier League for them. Bloody heck.
They did that last season as well. They beat, not first game, but I think it was one of the early games.
They did beat them earlier in last season. Yeah.
City, leaving Grealish aside, City had few chances. They didn't capitalize. They were shocking. Son with the goal. Obviously, Son's a class player. Love to see it when he scores. I mean, any team that would love to have a Heung-min Son in their team. Great player.
Definitely, man. He's a great player. He's got great pace. He's good at finishing. He scores a lot of goals.
And it kind of like, as you touched upon, or as the viewers have touched upon, made the Harry Kane discussion pretty much null and void because they managed to pull off a result without him. So
the thing is, this result shows that Man City haven't replaced Sergio Aguero. Yeah. He was their main goal scorer, right? And he's left for free. So why haven't they signed a striker? You've just spent 100 million on Jack Grealish, who did not need. You've got midfielders that are miles better than Grealish. Like you've got Riyad Mahrez, you've got other players that play better than him, and you don't need him.
No.
Why not just spend that 100 million on a striker? I mean, Lukaku's just been sold for 90 million to Chelsea. They could have got Lukaku. They could have gone out and got Haaland if they put a bit more money on top of the 100, bro.
100 million. Go get Haaland or go get Mbappe or whatever. Or pay slightly more. But 160 million for Haaland is better value for money than 100 million.
100%, bro. Yeah. I mean, why would you pay 100 million for Jack Grealish? I don't understand that. He's had what? He had a decent season with Villa last season, right? And he had an okay Euro with England.
Yeah.
He didn't do wonders. He didn't do what David Beckham and people like that can do. He came on, he did his job, and then in one game he even got taken off. He got subbed on and then he got subbed off. I mean, I don't see the hype behind Jack Grealish. And again, I don't see the hype behind Harry Kane either. Those are two players that are not worth the 100 million price tag. Jack Grealish is going to struggle at City, and the 100 million price tag is going to be...
It's going to affect him. It's a burden.
It's already affecting him, bro. Even in his first game, that has affected him. And it's going to affect him for the rest of the season. It's going to ruin his first season at City, and he's going to be a flop. His second season is going to be even worse. He'll either be sold or he'll be loaned out, bro.
Yeah, he'll be sold. They won't loan him out.
I guarantee by Christmas he's going to be benched, bro. He won't be in the starting 11 by Christmas if he carries on the way he is. No chance Pep is going to keep him in that squad.
He'll probably be benched for the second game anyway. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's just insane. You can pay 100 million for a player and he flops so bad. It's just crazy, bro. He flopped more than Arsenal against Brentford, bro, and that's saying something.
Yeah. But what makes it even worse for Aston, if Tottenham can pull out a result against Man City, then Arsenal really need to beat Chelsea at the weekend.
Exactly, bro. But that's not happening. That's not happening. I reckon Arsenal will turn up against Chelsea. I don't know if they'll beat them, but they will turn up and give them a game. The thing with Arsenal is that the players play better against the big six than they do against the smaller teams. And that's why they struggle against the smaller teams. Now, against the bigger teams like the top six, they don't always win, but they have a better game. And they always do it against United.
Yeah,
Arsenal always turn up against United, and I freaking hate it, man.
It's Shaz's pet peeve. They're United's bogey team.
They are, man. They always turn up against United, and they always end up ruining the day for me. Do you know what I mean? It just does my head in, man.
No, I hear, bro. I hear.
But opening week, Shaz, what did you think? Besides, obviously, Tottenham beating City, were there any other shocks in there that you weren't expecting?
Not really. I think it played out as much as expected. Grealish obviously leaving Villa had an impact on their performance.
100%, 100%.
But really, the rest of the results didn't really shock me.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, Brentford losing, sorry, beating Arsenal. But let's be honest, it's more a case of Arsenal played badly than Brentford played brilliant, the way I see it. And we'll have to see how the rest of the season goes. Still early days.
Definitely, man. Definitely. Just going back to that point you made, that Grealish leaving Aston Villa had an effect on their performance. But Grealish leaving Aston Villa had an effect on his own performance at Man City because of the price tag.
Exactly.
And that's going to keep happening over the season. Like I said, he's going to struggle to keep in that starting 11. Grealish is going to struggle at City to keep in that starting 11. There's players in that squad that are better than him, and they will prove it this season, and they will take his spot. He'll be either benched by Christmas. I think he's going to be benched even before that, bro. If he struggles, if he hits form, fair enough, he won't. But I don't think he's going to hit form, bro, in that squad. That squad has too many big players and too many egos for him to fit in.
Yeah. No,
that's the problem. He's got a bigger ego than some of the people in that squad, and he hasn't been there that long. He's been there for one game, bro. And I think Grealish's ego is going to be his downfall in that squad.
Yeah, let's hope he learns to change it or someone puts him in order, because he's going to struggle otherwise.
I mean, the only people that can put him in order, bro, are either his teammates, his manager, or the fans. Those three can put him in order.
Yeah.
And you'd rather your manager do it than your teammates, or you'd rather your manager or teammates do it than the fans, because if the fans turn on him, that could be even worse for his career.
That'd be worse, yeah.
That could have a mental effect on him, and that could just ruin the rest of his career, bro. You've seen it with other people, like who's the person that was mentioned earlier, Lallana, and players like that. There's other players that have come to City that have flopped. I just can't remember the names right now. But you know where I'm going with this, don't you, Shaz?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's just crazy, man. Obviously, we've done the roundup of the Premier League, so I'm just going to move on to a couple of little things that we've obviously heard over the past couple of days in football. Just before we wrap up, Arsenal have signed or are on the verge of signing Odegaard from Real Madrid for around 29 million. This news broke to me from Sol. That's where I heard it first, so I'm giving my source out. Sol gave me that news first. It is probably online as well. I've just not had a chance to read it, but Sol has said that they are signing Odegaard for around 29 million. The deal's there. I think Real Madrid are okay to sell him. Arsenal, I've always said he's their first option over Maddison, which I think is crazy. James Maddison's a better player, if you ask me.
He's not the first choice, because they know Leicester aren't selling him, so they have to spin the story to make it look better.
No. Even before the rumours started that they were after Maddison, they said after Odegaard's loan spell that they wanted to keep him. They were waiting for Real Madrid's decision. Now Real Madrid have made their decision to sell him. Arsenal are obviously the first team in there because they know what he's like. He's played there with them last season. And I think it'll be a good move for Odegaard. I think he'll be their best player this season. I think he was one of their best players last season.
Yeah, he was.
And he'll prove that he is a good player at Arsenal. And I think he'll stay there for a couple of seasons. He'll have a good few seasons, and he'll end up being sold for a higher price tag to a bigger club. It's just the way it goes, bro. That's how Arsenal do business. They make a player, then they sell them. They did it with Thierry Henry. They did it with Nicolas Anelka. They did it with Fabregas. I'm just dropping a couple of names here, but there's other people that they've done it with. But yeah, man, I think Odegaard will do well at Arsenal. I think they need him in the squad, especially after that performance against Brentford. They don't just need him; they need a lot of other players. The problem is that the problem with Arsenal is they're not going to go out and splash the money like United and City on players.
No.
They look for the cheap deals, and sometimes what happens is you buy a cheap player, he's not as good as you expected it to be. You know, like when you buy something from a pound shop, it's not as good as if you're buying it from a bigger shop, innit? Arsenal are just buying players from pound clubs in it, bro, and that's why they're struggling with the type of players that they've got. The players that Arsenal have got should not be in that Arsenal squad. Arsenal are a big club, right? They've done the Invincible, they've won the Premier League, they've won the FA Cup. They're a top 6 club in England, bro. And to see them fall down the way that they have, it's never good to see a club go down this way, bro. Unless it's Liverpool or Man City, it's never good to see, right? And I don't mind Arsenal. I think Arsenal are a good team. They're just in a rebuilding phase, and I think it's going to take them a lot longer than other clubs to rebuild because they're trying to use youth and they're trying to buy cheaper players, and that's where their problem is. They need to buy players with a higher price tag. They need to buy bigger players like James Maddison. He's going to have a higher price tag, but they need to buy him. Shaz, this guy agrees with you. This next comment, bro. I'm gonna let you carry on about Arsenal, bro.
Well, that comment sums it up. Or what was that comment we heard on Saturday night? They're like pizza boxes. They're never getting sold. They literally are that bad. But I feel bad for my boy Sol to defend himself. So I'm hoping he does join us on a podcast someday.
Man.
Ryan's hit the nail on the head. Arsenal pathetic. Nothing more.
At the moment, they are, man. You can't disagree with that comment right now. Arsenal are playing right now. They've just dropped so bad that even their own fans have just lost faith in them. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like their own fans are even agreeing with people that saying that the Arsenal are really bad, and that's crazy because you never really hear that from Arsenal fans. But now they've just had enough. It's like the board aren't spending the money they need to spend to rebuild that squad. So the rumor, I think around last season or the end of last season, was that the guy who owns Spotify, Daniel Eek, is it? Was looking to buy Arsenal.
He wanted to buy, but offer got turned down.
But his offer got turned down. And I think the board, the best thing for Arsenal right now will be to be sold to someone who can actually spend the money to help rebuild them into the club that they need, that they've been before. And the same thing goes for clubs like Blackburn Rovers, man. Blackburn Rovers have hit rock bottom completely, bro. The Venkies, I remember reading this, bro. When they first bought Blackburn Rovers, they didn't even know they could get relegated.
Shows how much they know about football.
I don't even know. The Premier League usually do a background check on owners to see if they've got knowledge of football, if they're decent people to buy the club. But they obviously didn't do their due diligence on the Venkies because they don't even know, or they didn't at the time, that a club could be sold, could be relegated. And that's pathetic, man. If you're owning a club, you should know whether they can be relegated or not from the league that they're in, bro. Come on.
Well, you'd like to think they should do, or it should be enforced that they should know that the league they're coming into, but
there should be a criteria that owners. It is all about money, and that's a sad thing, bro. That owners should have to hit a certain criteria. They should go through maybe a knowledge test to say, do you know enough about the Premier League and football to own a club in this country? Which obviously the Venkies would have failed. And Blackburn Rovers may not be where they are now.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean, man? It's just mental.
No, I hear you, bro. But
we'll wrap it up now, bro. It is getting a bit late. I know you've got work tomorrow. I've got work early tomorrow. So we are going to wrap it up, people. If there are any other comments you want to leave, please leave them. And we'll get through them before we do sign off. But Rehan, man, come on, bro. That's a bit harsh, man. Arsenal fans deserve everything they're getting. Now, that is a bit harsh, man, but you know what I mean? Everyone has their own opinion. I think that's a bit harsh on Arsenal fans, to be fair. It's not their fault. I don't think the club are where they are. It's the owners and maybe the management, the staff, and the players as well. It's not the fans' fault. But, that's my opinion. People are going to disagree with me like they always do. you know what I mean, Shaz? People do disagree with me quite a lot, so it's just one of them things, man. Big up, guys. Yes, man. Really, really appreciate that, man. Thanks very much for tuning in. Thanks for the comments. Like I said, we'll definitely get you on sometime, man, when we can arrange something. Arsenal fans deserve the banter they getting from rival fans. They do, man. I know Arsenal fans. My nephew is an Arsenal fan, and Shaz and him have banter every time they see each other, innit, Shaz?
It's healthy, constructive banter at the end of the day.
It is, man. I mean, it's light-hearted banter between football fans, and that's what you expect in football between clubs, innit? No one takes it too seriously, I hope. I hope no one takes it that seriously that they get really upset and then they cry themselves to sleep at night about some of the stuff that we say. Because I'd feel really bad if someone did cry themselves to sleep because of something I've said to them, bro. Unless they're Liverpool and City fans, I don't care about them.
Oh,
I'm joking, man. I'm joking. But yeah, man, we'll wrap it up, man. We'll finish this one off now. We'll be back tomorrow with another episode on the finished article in all things wrestling. So tune in, and we've got some interesting things to talk about on all things wrestling. So we'll see you all again tomorrow, right here on the finished article on all things wrestling. Until then, stay safe and see you later.
Take it easy, guys.
Take it easy, peeps.